either. Well, I think I'm definitely recording. Okay, we're definitely recording now. All right, guys, good morning. I am going to be sharing my screen in just a moment, and we'll get started. You ready? You ready to do this? What's our numbers? Oh, 181. Woohoo! And it's still climbing, but I'm going to share my screen now. Ready? Here we go. Do, 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 do. Okay. All right. So you can see up in there, I know how people are up there in the upper left-hand corner. Can you all see my presentation? Yes, Lisa, can you see it? All right, she's gonna drop the bit.ly in there. So let me just, everybody I know is all about, do I get the slides? Do I get it? Yes, you're gonna get everything. Okay, I promise you. So right there in the chat is gonna be a link that Lisa's dropping right now. And then up right there, you can just type right that bit.ly right in there. bit.ly, SEL task, all lowercase, type it right into your browser, and boom, it should take you to the presentation version of the slides. I had a lot of people email me after this session who actually wanted the slides themselves. These are Google Slides. This is not a PowerPoint. So if you want that after this, you can email me and I'll send you a forced copy link, and you can have your own copy if that's something that you need. And let me just start with this. Everything I show and do and have, everything is yours to borrow awesomeness if you choose, okay? Everything. So we're getting ready to go. Lisa, you ready? Lisa.
I'm ready. I'm just on mute.
Yep. Okay, here we go. You can stay off mute, okay, Lisa, if you don't mind. Everybody else stay mute. Got that link. We'll drop it a few times throughout. I promise you that everything I do is going to immerse you. So before we even get started, this is what I've been starting even my face-to-face PD before this crazy time started. I've been starting all of my PD with this, and it's very apropos during this time. And I got to give a shout out. I wonder if somebody from this team is in this chat. I don't know. Lisa, you can tell me if Lacey's here. But borrow this from the 3rd grade team at Eastwick Academy. Okay, this is what we all must do. You ready? We have to smell the cookies, blow the soup, y'all. Take a breath. Ready? Here we go. Smell the cookies, blow the soup. We got this. All right, here we go. So Lisa, we got you up here. Look at you, Lisa. Look at what I did to your beautiful face. I'll start and I'll turn it over to you, Lisa, just to get to let you know a little bit about us. I'm Dr. Lisa Hervey. I'm a teaching professor at North Carolina State. Been in this business for 21 years, taught 6th through 8th grade language arts. This is what I do. I'm built for this time. I've been lucky enough to be a coach. I'm currently a professor. I've been a principal, been all over the place, but I'm just so excited to be helping out during this time. I'm honored and humbled to be at your service. So that's a little bit about me. I'll turn it over to Lisa and let her introduce you. She is my co-moderator, my co-pilot, my everything right now. She's my jam.
Everybody, Lisa Little, 4th grade at Eastwick Academy. I bailed out on Dr. Hervey yesterday due to a migraine, so I'm back in the game today and excited to be here with her today and feeling better. I had emails yesterday from some people from the group, so feel free to email, or my Twitter is there as well.
And if you wanted to know how Lisa uses, one of the things, I was lucky enough to work with Lisa for several years, and if I was off campus, I could look at her Twitter and I knew exactly what was going on in her classroom, like every day. Like seriously, her Twitter is an exemplar of how you use Twitter to tell your story and show off your amazingness in your classroom. So I could see her classroom all the time. She's awesome. So you should follow her if you're not already. So we're gonna get started. We got the bit.ly right up there. That's the presentation of what we're gonna go through. We're gonna go through a lot. So I'm definitely going to stop and ask questions, so don't worry about that. But I always like to start with a little bit of an icebreaker. Well, first let's start with this. Let's clean up, begin with the end in mind. Yes, there will be a link. Yes, you will get credit. Yes, you can give me feedback. All of that will be at the end. We promise, we promise, we promise. So don't leave without that. It'll be part of this presentation as well as dropped in the chat. Okay, don't worry about that. Lisa will probably start keeping me together. You're going to actually get a link to this activity because I'm going to give you a whole bunch of activities later in this presentation. Don't worry. You got to trust me. I'm going to immerse you in the process. I'm going to ask you to put on the hat of a third grader when we get into the task cards, and then we're going to unpack it as teachers and then look and talk about how we would use these. I promise, okay? But you should always, I want to model what I expect, and I believe that if you're going to have a social meeting with your kids, which you should do, your kids need to see and hear you. You should always start with some kind of icebreaker or check-in. That actually is a social emotional learning activity, to do a check-in, right? Don't just start with, okay, here's our math, or here's what we're doing. Like, check in with them, okay? So here's what this is. This is called a Hey Me Too, and you can do it in your classroom, or, and that's the good news, all the things that you're learning, you can go back when we're back with our kids, you can use a lot of these activities, I promise. But in the chat, we can do it this way. You can either raise your hand, like visually in the chat, or you can raise your hand using the raise your hand feature in the toolbar, or you can just raise your hand by typing in the chat. But this is called Hey Me Too. I'm going to give you a series of statements, and I'm wondering if this applies to you too. Hey, me too, right? Like, here you go. How about this one? How about that? Okay, yeah, I need a haircut. Like, no tomorrow. Who else needs a haircut? Hey, me too, right? Yes, that's what I'm talking about, right? Okay, what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? How many out there are doing this? Yes, right? Teaching long division. Well, I got a kid in my lap, right? Awesome. Okay, let's try one last Hey Me Too. And this is just a personal one for me, and maybe this will show you my own stir craziness, but I believe this is true. Let's see if anybody else thinks this. Yes, that's what I'm serious. They look at me like, can you please go away for longer than an hour at a time when you go for a run? Please, just could you leave us alone? We would like, I have cats, so they're a little more picky. Dogs are probably loving this current situation. All right, you guys ready? So that's a Hey Me Too activity. Quick, dirty, there you go. That's all you take away from this session. Yay, you're welcome. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it. You ready? I am going to ask that you put on the hat of a third grader right now, okay? So let me walk you through a task card, okay? You're going to get a copy of a task card. You're going to get resources for your task card, I promise you. But let me walk through a task card with you that I have made for a third grader, okay? And then we'll unpack it. Then we'll look at some resources, and then you'll get a copy of the task card. Sound good? Okay, here we go. Now, first and foremost, I have to give shout out. I have to give credit where credit is due. George Quaros. Oh, and this might be something you can do for me, Lisa, if you have a second. If you're not currently, I have to give credit. I adopted this work from George Quaros. Lisa, if you wouldn't mind maybe dropping in his Twitter and his blog into the chat. He is a national thought leader in education. I've seen him speak several times, like at ISTE and kind of big conferences. Everything that comes out of this man's mouth is golden, right? I don't know what it is about George Quaros, but I love him. So he actually put this kind of idea, it was his blog about just trying to show us how we need to simplify things, because the reason I decided to do this session is because I've been attending national webinars and listening to folks in webinars like this. And what I've been hearing is kids are appreciative of what teachers are doing for them, but they are kind of getting a little tired of just doing task after task after task after task with little to no interactivity or little to no of seeing each other, like just literally completing activities in isolation. So I definitely want to say that the reason I did this is I wanted to show you a way to do what feels comfortable. We do like to give kids tasks. I understand that. But what I've layered in here, this is soaked in SEL and it's soaked in interactivity. So it's kind of mashing together this idea that we do want kids to kind of do things. We need them to do some stuff. But how do we use that sort of linear idea, but we build in interactivity? And that's what I'm here to model and show you. And you got to go off on your own and see what you can put together. Okay, so that's the bargain I'm making with you. So here we go. We're going to go on the ride. Here's my third grade task card for for third graders. But before I start digging in, I want to check in with Lisa before I really get into and totally put on my teacher hat. Lisa, is there anything I need to clean up before I get started deep into this card?
Nope, we just need to remind some people that are coming in that you can email us to receive the cards. They were asking about how to get those, so they can email us, and I'm getting ready to drop the Twitter.
Well, you're okay. So let me be clear. If you want the slides, the actual slides versus the presentation, you can email. But in this presentation, I give you the card. Okay, I got you. This is not my first rodeo, so I know what you want, and I promise you, we're gonna walk through you actually getting a copy of this task card, and I make a video. Okay, let me just show you really fast before you freak out. See, like right there, you're gonna click and get the card. And I actually have step-by-step directions about how to manipulate your own card with a video. See, I got you, okay? Don't worry. You just gotta breathe. Grammar, smell the cookies, blow the soup. Here we go. So here we go. Here's our task card. You'll notice that if you do happen to go to George Koros, and she's gonna drop all his stuff in the chat, you'll notice that his task card actually had, he had like reading or check-in and reading and math and writing and fitness, and he had all these labels, and I purposely left them blank. So when I went to create this card, I left it blank on purpose because I feel like you want to have some agility. So we might be reading, but it might really be reading science, or it might be reading social studies, right? Math might be connected to science. So I wanted to leave it open. I think open is better. So the heart is just the SEL, right? Here's what I would do. Just something as simple as what I already did with you, the hey, me too, you could do. But here all I have is I'm going to have a morning meeting using a Zoom or a Meet. Obviously, we're not going to immerse in that part. I would have links there, obviously. But I just had something as simple as wear your favorite color from head to toe. Like every time you meet with you kids, how about you start or give them a theme, bring your favorite stuffed animal, wear your favorite sports shirt, wear your favorite hat, wear crazy hair. I don't know, like it's profoundly simple, simply profound things that can bring kids together and have them talk about why is that your favorite color? Why is that your sports? That actually gets at social emotional learning. Okay, super simple. I'm sure most of you have got that, right? Now, a lot of people, I'm gonna back up a little bit. A lot of people ask me like, how would you use these cards? I might do something like this card. Some people are like, would this be a day or 2 days? That's depending on your kids, right? Pernell Rip put it best a couple of weeks ago on Twitter. You plan for 45 minutes, you better half it, and then you better half it again for the reality of what kids can actually do and parents can actually support. So I might maybe do 2 cards a week. This card might be Monday, Tuesday. You get another card for Wednesday, Thursday, and I do all of my check-ins and my summative informative assessment doing meetings on Friday. That's one way to do it. Is there a million other ways you might do it? Absolutely. This is all going to be about what works with your kids. Okay, so here we go. Let's do the reading. So the thing I would have them do is my third graders, we're studying ecosystems, and we need to read a informational text about they need fire. So not only am I showing you what I would actually do, I'm also hopefully layering in new tools that you may have not seen. So here's what you do. There's something called Common Lit. I know that people know about RAS Kids and Epic, but a lot of people don't know about Common Lit. So yes, I set up an account. As a teacher in Common Lit, and then I set myself up as a student so that I'm entering right now as a student. So all you do is you set it up, you give kids a link, you set up your class in Common Lit. Everything I'm going to show you is free, by the way. I don't pay for jack. Okay? So here's what Common Lit does. So you would create a class in Common Lit, all free. You get your kids in there, all free. You give them the link, they have the code, they sign in, and boom, this is what they land on. Oh, I know you're already loving this. Check this out. Are you kidding me right now? So not only is this an informational, and it's 3rd through 12th grade, I'm gonna give you other resources for reading for K-12. All of my resources today are gonna be K-12, but I do need to be honest, Common Lit, all genres, but it's 312. But it's awesome. Check this out. Look at this. It gives them definition of difficult words. It forces them to answer a question before they can go on. What? That's right. You ready for the big? You ready for the big? You ready for the big thing? Not only can they change the font size. You ready? Oops, maybe I'm muted. Oh.
Forest fires can do a lot of damage to an environment, but they can also do a lot of good. In this text, Bobby Silverman discusses some
Now,
of
the other thing somebody asked me was, okay, that's great. That's awesome. Does it read the question?
why do jack pines need fire?
Yes,
A.
it
To
does.
make space in the forest for them. B. To release seeds from.
Okay.
Why do jack pines
So
need
again,
fire? A. Why do jack pines need
okay, now I'm
fire?
going to close
A.
this because
To
now
make
it's driving me
space in the forest
crazy.
for them. B. To release seeds from their cones. C. To kill animals that eat them.
All right, so that's
D.
Common Lit. Do you have to learn with Common Lit? Absolutely. I'm not here to teach you Common Lit today. I'm here to show you, hey, there's this really great resource that works really well with the task card. That's all that I'm doing. You're going to have to go play, to learn, to plan with Common Lit on your own. Is there a link later in the slides? Yes, there's a link later in the slides. Do not panic. Okay, here we go. Before I'm moving on to math, are there any questions right now before I move on? Lisa.
I think we're doing good right now. They're just having problems hearing me.
Okay, but again, remember my goal is to give you a gist of what is possible. You got to take all this and make it work for you and your kids. Got it? So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to show you how I am using a task card, but I'm going to make math interactive. I understand, and Lisa, this is where you are my jam mostly. I know, so I'm not a math teacher. That's why I have Lisa here, because she helps me. She's the other side of my brain. I'm a language arts person. I know that kids have to do just math. I know that Lisa's doing her doc camera. I understand that there is going to have to be some actual math that goes on. I get that. But I also want to just show you what's possible. You can do math interactively. I'm not saying I would do this every day, but check this out. I'm going to use Flipgrid. Again, a tool you'd have to learn on if you aren't familiar with it. So I give them a link, and then I give them the password, right? And I make my password all the same. So all they got to do is they're going to click on this. That little guy. And I know my password is always orange. Pound, pound, pound. And boom, we're in. And here's what they do. So I'm going to close that. So this is what it is. It's just a Flipgrid. I didn't even make this Flipgrid. I borrowed it. If you want to come to my session later on, I'll show you how I borrowed this from Flipgrid. Somebody else made this. I didn't make this. Somebody else made it, but I'm all about borrowing awesome. So it's already set up for me. They basically, it's just a little quick, it's just an interactive math problem, right? And then they make a video as their answer, right? They just simply go on, and believe me, your kids will know how to do this. Yes, it'll force them to log in, and then then they'll make their video and so forth and so on. Oh, we won't do that. I don't even know if I need to show you all this, but let's see, I just don't want it to force me out. I remember yesterday I might have had problems, but here we go. Now, so now it's just gonna let me record. Hopefully it's slow because so I would record my answer. It counts you down, counts the kids down. There's a little timer as this little guy right here gets bigger. There's also a timer in the upper right-hand corner. The kid makes their response, blah, 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 right? They say next. There's a little timer. I never listen to myself ever. I take my selfie. I say next. I say sure. Right, and I say, okay. And then there's my video. Look, I look exactly the same 2 days in a row. That's really scary. But anyway, that's it, right? And then look, kids could see and hear each other, and they're doing math, right? I'm not saying you need to do this every single day, but it's just, I'm here to show you what's possible. So that's what I would do for math, 3rd grade. Before I move on, I want to see if there's any questions about that activity.
There are so many things in Flipgrid. I went into the disco that you suggested, and the amount of math.
16,000 topics.
Yeah, the math and science that's already created that match our standards are incredible right now. Go check it out.
And if you haven't signed up for my session, are you ready to disco? That's exactly what I show in that session, is how I borrowed that awesomeness. There are 16,000. Somebody tweeted it out yesterday because we were talking about it in my session yesterday. 16,000 already made Flipgrids by Wonderopolis, by the New York Met, by Breakout EDU. Like, can I go on? I can't even don't get me started. I gotta stop. Okay, now let's stay in this webinar. Okay, here we go. So before I move on to the next task, are there any questions or concerns right now, Lisa?
The concerns are that their counties aren't letting them use Flipgrid or requesting parent permission first.
Okay, that's a great, that is a great thing. When you go to sign up with Flipgrid, sorry about this. When you go to sign up for Flipgrid, okay, I don't know what's going on with me right now, y'all. Sorry. Here we go. Sorry about that. You're right. But when you go to sign up for Flipgrid, and it's something I show in my other session. In fact, I have it pulled up. Believe it or not, you just are lucky that I have it pulled up right now. There, when you go to sign in for Flipgrid, if you've never created a Flipgrid account, when you sign in, right below, it's a very innocuous little thing. It'll say consent forms. And you click this link and it gives you this. So you can get very easy. Flipgrid has already made the consent form for you. Already for you. And yes, I understand the concerns, but it is a make it work it moment. I would say that maybe, I would always offer that if you're doing office hours, try to have at least 2 adults in the room, especially like I'd say 4th grade and up, right? I understand that having kids in Flipgrid, especially if you're serving students in special needs, right? But you can easily duplicate Flipgrids. I'm not saying this is ideal. I'm not saying this isn't hard work. But you could duplicate a single Flipgrid and then send it out individually, because I understand the reason why we can't meet in groups is because if a parent walks by a Flipgrid and someone else can see the other kids in the Flipgrid or in the meeting. I understand that. But there is a way to duplicate. You can make one for Sally and one for Tevin and one for Tremaine and one for Johnny. Okay? But that takes us away. Moving back. Last couple of things I want to show you. So for writing, I'm just going to show you something as simple that I would do is I would use Padlet. Again, just another way to encourage interactivity, encourage community at this time, and just change it up instead of them just always having to handwrite. And right now, most of it's probably typing on a Google Doc or a Word doc. Just change it up. So this is a Padlet. It's the shelf template. I love the shelf. I feature here all the different ways you might organize it. I definitely have, in my own grad classes, I set up an entire Padlet, and yes, I do. I put every single one of my kids' names in on a column. Yes, I do. It's worth it for me, right? I do that because my kids deserve it. My grad students deserve for me to show the possibility. But I know not all of you teach that way. Maybe some of you may do teams. Maybe it'll be easier if you put 4 kids in a group and you just say you're team 1 or you're the orange team or you're the green team, or you do your columns by period. That's all up to you. I'm here just to show you what's out there. I always hijack the first column. There's my direction. So I'm giving them an image and look at what I did. So you got to be smarter. You got to work smarter, not harder. You'll see that I made them read about fire and look at what their writing is about. It's about fire. So I'm actually connecting to their reading activity. So what I'm asking them to do is, based on what they're reading, I give them a new image. I give them a model of what a 6-word story is, and that's just a protocol for a new way of summarizing. That's it. That's all. It could be somebody, but then so. That's one. Or all of this, just another summarizing tool. But imagine if a kid can summarize what they read in 6 words. Think about the cognitive work that has to go on to make that happen. I give them the directions, blah, blah, blah. I even say add your own fire image to your column, and then other kids can comment on each other. Lisa, you can speak to this. Melissa Russo did it. She shared it out, right? Lisa, kids took it to it like wildfire, right?
Yep, and this goes along with your presentation a couple weeks ago. So I made a Padlet, every student's name across the top, and each week I drop a new question and the student answers, and they've been playing around with dropping pictures to me about what they're doing at home. And then Lisa showed us how to add feedback. So I've added my voice to some students, pictures. So we're staying connected, and we add fun questions like, tell me something you made, tell me something you did outside, what does hope mean to you? Just random open-ended questions to keep our class connected.
Yes. So yes, I'm not going to get into it again. Again, I layered a lot of tools, but if you don't ever mash the invisible snowman laying on his side, you're missing out. That's what learning is about. That's exactly the goal of learning. Play to learn to plan. What does that button do? Bink, right? No harm, no foul. You're not, no, you can't break the internets, but mess with it. So anyway, this is just a model of how I might use a Padlet to create interactivity. Oops, that's crazy. All right, I'm losing it right now. Oh, because that's the wrong one. Never mind. I'm so goofy. Okay, so last but not least, I'm gonna escape for a second. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to that link. Oops. Sorry guys, I am freaking out right now. Oh, I know. I gotta move it. That's what I do. Okay. So last but not least, I'm gonna do fitness. But before I go on to fitness, Lisa, are there any questions I can clear up right now before I move on to the last stage of our card?
They were asking about Google Classroom, and I just let them know that I just dropped the Padlet link, shared to Google Classroom, and it's there for them to go back to every single week.
There you go. You can make a QR code and like back in your classroom, like, you know, and we can already start having those conversations. How you make this transition back to the classroom is you make a QR code and you stick it up on your wall, and it's the Padlet of the week. And you say, when you got those done early, kids, well, go to the QR code and do that, right? Anyway, we'll get into that later. Last but not least, one of the things that I did like about what George Quaros added in his card, and I did definitely borrow this card, is he did have a particular fitness piece. And I just think I think we just need to be cognizant of this. And I am kind of thinking about the family in this way. And I'm going to show you in my video, I show you how you're going to download this as a PDF, right? Ultimately, you are going to, when you, in a Google slide, you can go to file and download. And I show you this in a video. Don't worry. It's in this presentation. I promise you. But you download it as a PDF and your links will work. But imagine if all you're doing right now is emailing parents, but the parent could open this task card up on their phone, and then they could open this next activity on their phone and take it with them. But basically, I say go on a nature walk, and if you click this on your copy of the presentation, it's going to make a copy of this. So I'm already giving this to you right here. And again, this is 3rd grade. Remember, I'm doing 3rd grade, and copying is really slow right now because I think all in Google Classroom, I think Google, all they do all day long is copy right now. And so every time I go to copy, it is really slow, but don't let that discourage you. This is where you smell the cookies and blow the soup. Look, magic. I made it happen. No, I'm just kidding. You just got to wait. You got to be patient. Copying right now is really weird because I think it's just overwhelming Google. Anyway, and I think it has to do with Classroom. But here it is. You have this now. Is this profound? Is this going to save the planet? No, but it's just simple, right? Maybe the kid could take a picture of it and then go on the walk. Maybe they don't have a printer. I get that. I'm just saying, like, maybe they go out and they take pictures of all of stuff and then they come back and look at the card. I don't know. It's just there just to give them something to do. Do you have to change this for older kids? Yes, but I just gave you a copy of it. So it's yours to do just that. Okay? So that's it. Thank you for immersing yourself as a 3rd grader. That is what I would do, right? And again, this might be over 2 days. I don't know. I would have to try it first, check in with my kids and say, what do you think about that card? How much were you able to get done? And adjust moving forward. Maybe they're like, yo, we knocked it out. Okay, well then maybe you guys are gonna get a card today. Maybe they're like, no, that was a lot. Okay, we'll do 1 card every 2 days. You don't know until you try. Maybe you don't do all 5 activities. I don't know. That's gonna be up to you. So I'm going to stop right now. This is a kind of a good stop before I move into the resource aspect and we really look and start to put our teacher hat back on. So my call to action is, what are some ideas you're already having with this card? What are questions that you have about the card itself? And then we'll move into the resource aspect of things to help you build your own cards. And then I'll show you really quick how you might manipulate your card and make it your own. So I'll pause right there. Questions, Lisa, concerns that I need to address?
So we have a couple questions about, is this something you would do instead of a packet?
Heck yeah. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest. I'm going to have to give a shout out to, I think it was your team, Lisa, and I know middle school did it. What we need to do is we need to actually ask our kids and our parents what they have and what they don't have, instead of making 80 copies of everything. Like, I know for a fact that out of fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, they only had to have 2 families that needed packets, right? That's the reality, right? So instead of just making packets for everybody, why don't you find out who actually needs them, give them what they need, but then the rest that can handle it, do it this way. So yes. What other questions, Lisa?
What is the difference with putting the document in the task card and assigning a task that makes a copy for each student in classwork?
Say that one more time. I just want to
What
hear
is
it one.
the difference with putting the document in the task card and assigning a task that makes a copy for each student in classwork?
I don't know what they mean by the document. So, so would I drop this, if I were to use this with Classroom, I would drop this in as a slide and force a copy. Absolutely. But I would probably put it in just like this. So I may need some more clarity on that question. Maybe we'll give you some time and we can clear that up, but maybe Lisa can help. But I just like it because it's organized. And yes, could I take each of these and just individually drop them into a classroom? Yes, I could. But I'm trying to think about all different access. This also could just be used with parents that all you have is email and you can send them this task card and at least they can pull it up on their phone or their tablet. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to do the whole gamut. If it's something that you're already doing makes sense and is already working, then don't undo it. I'm just here to show you a way to maybe organize things, and for kids that are maybe having difficulty, this might be the way to do it because you can save a slide as a PDF and you can email that PDF and the links will work. Any other questions before we move on to the resources?
No, just lots of people commenting how they want to use this.
Okay, good. Okay, that's good. But let's get to it, all right? I've got some stuff for you. I've made some stuff for you, and then I'm just going to give you some resources. And I'm always K. I'm always thinking K. I'm always thinking K. I'm always thinking K 12. But I want to show you a couple of things right off the bat, okay? So remember the heart. So I've organized these resources, K-12, and I'm using those same icons to give you an idea. You know, can they be interchangeable? Of course. But here's some, I'm not going to click on every single one of these, okay? But I'm going to click on some of them, and here's one of them that I really want to show you. So I didn't make these up. I did not make these. These I borrowed, awesome. But I couldn't figure out how to force a copy of a folder. So you're going to have to go in here and make your own copies. But these are check-ins, right? All different ways of doing check-ins. They're yours to borrow. So for example, and a lot of you are like, my kids can't, my kindergarten cannot do a form. Are you kidding me right now? There is no way. And so you will steal this by going, oh, not there, sorry, cancel. You will steal this by going to the invisible snowman and you will make a copy, all right? Don't mess everybody up, make a copy. But yes, little kids can do it too. I didn't make this up, but once you make your copy, you can get rid of the parts you don't like. So this is the beginning of the day check-in. These little windows drive me crazy, I'll be honest with you. And oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, then there's this one you can look at. Here's the end of the day, and here's another daily check-in with all of these links work. There's a PDF and all those links. You can explore this on your own. You're welcome. They're yours to steal, to borrow, to do whatever. Yes, you are going to have to go in and make your own copies. Please, 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 please go in and make your own copy. Go to for Google Forms. I'll show it one more time. I can just go over here. You got to go to the, oh my gosh, I'm over Zoom right now. You go to the invisible snowman. You may have never mashed him, but he's there for you. He's your friend. You make a copy, all that kind of stuff. You can download the PDF, et cetera, but please don't mess with these. All right. So here, everybody turn the notes up. Now here's the big one that I'm really promised you. Remember how I told you that I spent a lot of time running, thinking about this session, and what I wanted to do was take this idea of tasks, but kids are getting sick of tasks, and how do I soak that in SEL? And here's what based on webinars I've attended, based on Castle's work. So this is, we want to link, I force you to make a copy. So this is now going to be yours. And again, this is where we breathe. So based on the work of Castle and based on the work on some that I saw in a webinar with Ed Elements, I've put together some resources for you. And not only, so what I've done is I've organized the activities around the domains in CASEL. So if you're not familiar with the social emotional learning, besides, guys, learning has always been social and emotional. I don't know why all of a sudden we act like it's new, but it's not. But anyway, it's now a big thing. But so these are the things we know that kids might be struggling with at home: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, responsible district. So here's what I've done. I've given you a bunch of ideas, like the strategy, and then I differentiated it K2, 3, 5, and 6, 12. You're welcome. It's all there for you. That is all there for you, right? The Hey Me game is there. There's, look, Flipgrid, Padlet's in there. What? So again, just some ideas this is not all my own unique intellectual capital. I want to be clear. I need to give a shout out to CASEL, give a shout out to Ed Elements. So you like this? People liking this? Okay. That's the thing for you. That's one big giant thing for you. Now let's talk about let's talk about some of these other things. So Common Lit is theirs link. You know, that's going to be third grade to 12. Most of you that are in lower L already understand RAS. Epic is good, but it tends to be more pay to play, but it's currently free until the end of June. So check that out. For some interactive ideas and resources to fill your math section of your card out, there's Illuminations, lessons, already ready to go. Drop the link in, kid does it, boom. If you're higher, you might want to look at an illustrative math. Illumination is by the National Counselors of Teachers of Math, right? Lisa, that's your group's resource. Oops. And then I just had some math support blogs at the bottom. I have some elementary writing prompts that I have for you. Are there a million of these things out there? Yes. I'm just simply giving you the ones that I like. That's it. There's a million out there. I just happened to find this great, it's thoughtco.com, and they're a great resource. I don't know how I didn't find this place. Thoughtco.com, like thought and then the word co.com. Awesome. They have amazing resources, and they just happen to have this resource for middle school and high school for every day in the month of May. And you go in there and it'll say May 1st, here's the idea for the day, and here's the middle school prompt, and here's the high school prompt. Cinco de Mayo, here's the middle school prompt, here's the high school prompt. I'm like, this is golden. All you have to do, if you can copy and paste, you're in business. All right, here we go. So check those out. Again, these are for you to learn with. If you get in there and you don't like it, don't then say, nope, not for me. No worries. I'm not going to be offended, right? But I did drop in some fitness, other fitness. Are there a million things out there like this? Yes. I just found ones that I just like. This little K2 one is this little monkey. It is the coolest thing, and it's so perfect for young kids because the videos are only like a minute and a half, which is perfect for their attention span. And then there's Just Dance and then Cosmic Kids Yogas. Are there a million things out on YouTube like this and all of those movement things, Zoom, all that? Yes, but I like these. I'm just sharing them. So that's it. This is your Plurn dashboard, if you will. These are all the things you need to dig in and look at and figure out. So I'm going to stop there and see if there are any questions about the resources, and then I'm going to show you how to make a copy of the card, etc.
Can you clarify? We can't see the thought code.
It's central on
Thoughtco.com.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
my PJs up to 2 days early, which is really because I walk into the office.
There we go.
You got them? Okay. There it is, ThoughtCo. So that if you click on the middle school, high school, that actually brings you to that website, ThoughtCo. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
And then if you see, look at this. Look at all these things that they have. And I'm trying to remember, there was a dashboard. Like, look at this. Look at that, thoughtco.com. I just found this. This is how I plan. This is the things that I do when I plan. I find stuff like this. And I'm like, where has this been my whole life? And it's just cool. Is it going to work for every single person in this webinar? Maybe not. But for me, I'm certainly going to look at it and see what's in there that I can use. So if you mash the high school, middle school prompt, it'll take you to thoughtco.com. Then click on the little hamburger up in the upper left-hand corner, and then it'll bring you to their homepage. Okay, questions or concerns?
Another question. Oh, somebody's TV.
Hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing. Well, I can do it from here. Never mind. Hold on, give me 1 second.
You can make a difference for a child like Audrey.
There we go.
I'm magical. Okay,
Good job.
okay, go ahead. Sorry about that.
We've been having a discussion in the chat about the task card. Would you give it one per week or one per day?
Right, that's kind of what I've said a couple of times. Again, in my mind right now, that particular card for third graders, right? Remember, it's gonna all be dictated by who you serve, right? I would probably start with maybe one card every 2 days, but like I said, then I would check in with them. And if like 80% or more of them got it knocked out in a day, then I'll be like, well, how do you guys feel about trying one a day? But my initial take would be I would give a card for Monday, Tuesday, a card for Wednesday, Thursday, and then I would set up all of my Zoom meetings and maybe my check-ins, maybe my small group reteaching, because remember, all the work should come in, right? And if I know we're not grading, I'm not going to get into what your district has policy, but I'm sorry, I as a teacher still need to know, what do you want them to know? How do you know? What are you going to do if they do? What are you going to do if they don't? And that's where I would arrange, I would have my big morning meeting maybe on, I mean, I'd have morning meetings every day, but, or at least every other day, maybe Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. But on Friday, if they had task cards Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then I would have my big meeting, and then maybe I would align smaller meetings for just kids based on things that I saw in their work that I have to reteach and correct misconceptions. So I might have some individual small group meetings all day. I might do some formative assessment, whatever. Or it could be Monday, Tuesday, you meet Wednesday, card Thursday, Friday. I don't know. I would try it and then see what the kids think. Questions or concerns before we keep moving on?
I'm loving the idea to be organized, having a different color, changing the color for the second part of the week.
I'm going to show you something. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So here we go. You ready? So if you advance your slide to slide, what slide is this? Slide 7. This is where I give you your own copy of the card. So I've already copied it. So I'm just going to hop over because I did that because it's been so slow. So you actually get this. If you mash the slide with your cursor, you're gonna get your own copy. You're gonna get this. This is yours now. And if you have no idea what to do next, I have everything laid out for you, okay? I have a video that's gonna show you what I'm gonna show you right now. So if you're like, what'd she do? Wait. There's a video on the very next slide that will show you what I'm getting ready to show you, okay? Okay, so backing up to the card. So yes, I'm gonna be completely own this. I have way too much time on my hands, and Lisa can attest to this. I'm all about the color and this and that, and that is not necessary, right? So what you do is, this is just a table, y'all. This is just a table, and it's not perfect. So, but I purposely put little things. The reason I made them small is because I don't want you to put multiple things in here, because then we're defeating the purpose, right? But if you were to add more things, then you're gonna have to adjust the images, right? Like I can't help that. But basically, this is just a table. And if I wanted to change the color of like one of them, you just highlight whatever you wanna, and you just change the background, that's it. So if you don't wanna mess with the color, because I had to change my links back to white and I had to do all that, I took the time to do that. You don't have time for all that? Then boom, just make this your own, but take the idea and put it into something that's simpler for you. But you know, if you don't change the color of the links, or you know, it's really up to you. If you want to just do white and make it simple and put the date at the top or the week, that's fine. That's why I gave it to you. You do it, it's yours now. All right, questions or concerns about anything right now? So this is in the slides, you got this.
One of the questions was, can you show how to force a copy to be made?
Yes, all right, you ready? Oh, I wanna show you one last thing before we do that, one last thing. So then the idea is, you make your card, right? You fill all this in, and you don't do more than one slide. That's the only thing about this. You need to do one slide, just one slide, because then what you do is you go to File, and then you go to Download, and this is in the video. Don't freak out, it's in the video. It's a video. And you go to PDF, and you download that. And then that's what you drop in the classroom. That's what you email. That's what you drop into Seesaw, because the links will work. If you download it as a JPEG, if you download it as anything else, the links will not work. So, but only one slide, because otherwise, if you have multiple slides in there, then the PDF will have all of the slides. But that's okay too. Like maybe you do all of your slides for the week, your task cards. Maybe this is Monday's card or Tuesday's card. And then you download all that, and that's your PDF. That would work too. But if you're going to do it a daily card, then you can only do one slide. If you want to send them 2 cards, then you do 2 slides. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, how to force a copy. So yes, that's the best feature of Google Classroom. I'm watching my times. I know you guys have things you want to do at 12. I know Google Classroom will do that for you purposely, no problem. That's what it does, but I'll show you how I do it manually. You ready? Here we go. So you have to, first of all, anything you're going to do that, it does, the original setting on the share has to at least be anyone with the link can view, all right? The master setting has to be set up. It can't be private in any way. Then what you do is you take this link, okay? And I'm going to actually put it right here so you can I can show you what I'm doing. So here's the shareable link. It's the same for, this works for docs and it works for slides. So Drive, Google Forms, and Google Docs, and Google Slides. I don't think it works for Draw, okay? But basically, it's really hard. Let me make this big so everybody can see. How about that? I'll make it like giant big. How about that? All right, now, here's what you do. Regardless if you have a link for a doc, a link for a PowerPoint slide, it doesn't matter. You go to you're gonna find, they're all different. Like on a doc, it only will have, you're gonna find this last // You see this very last / right before the word edit, okay? And every link in a Google Doc or a Google Slide has this feature. What you do is you find that last // Sometimes there's gonna be a bunch of googly goop afterwards. Sometimes it'll just be the word edit. And all you do is you get rid of all the stuff at the end, all the way up to that last // and then you add the word copy. Sorry, I don't know why I have it white. I guess I originally was set to white. Okay, I'm gonna take this URL and I'm gonna drop it into a new tab. Watch this magic. That's it. I'm sorry, I'll show you one more time. You take anything that, I'll do a doc, I'll do this. So I'll take that SEL doc. I'm gonna go back in here so I can show you. I'm just gonna make sure it drops in there black. Okay. Okay, there's the link. I'm gonna make it super big for you because I love you. All right, and like I said, in a doc, for some reason, all there is just the word edit. For some reason, slides has a bunch of googly goop afterward, I don't know. So it's the same rule. You find the very last // and you get rid of everything behind it. You get rid of everything behind it. And then you put the word copy. And that is the link that you share with that word copy in there. Take that, you can drop this in Google Classroom, drop it in an email, drop it anywhere. When they open it, boom. You're welcome. Okay, moving on. Now back to the webinar. So again, guys, you mash that, you get the card. This slide will tell you will show you everything we just went over, but you can stop it and pause me and play as you are working with it. You have all those resources. You have the SEL activity sheet. You have the check-ins. I mean, I dumped on you, I feel like. But that was kind of my goal. Our goal in this 2.0 was to get you primed to get through the rest of the time, because you guys are getting in there now and we wanted to give you some resources. I'm going to stop right now, but are there any questions I can answer? Because I know a lot of you probably have some great learning you want to do, but I'll answer questions and then we'll do our reflection, because learning doesn't occur unless there is reflection. So Lisa, questions or concerns before we do our stoplight protocol?
Just so much positive feedback. People are already talking about how they're going to use it and whether they use it now or looking at next year.
Right. So imagine this, right? Like this is not like a task card could be something that that is part of one of your centers in your classroom, right? I'm not going to teach you something that won't translate back to your classroom, because this is an opportunity for you to up your blended learning, your personalized learning, right? This is amazing. So if there's not any burning questions, I can't help myself. I always want to give you everything, steal everything. I love doing this reflection. I normally do this with sticky notes, red sticky notes, yellow sticky notes, and green sticky notes. And then you can organize it. And it's a really great way to look at your class. And so what I'd like you to do in the chat right now is, or, just for yourself, maybe, it's a stoplight protocol. Based on what you've learned today, is there something that you consider that you might stop? And that could be a feeling like, I'm going to stop overdoing it, or I'm going to stop like stressing and smell the cookies and blow the soup. What's something based on this presentation that you are willing to start? What have you been inspired to? Maybe you think, oh, maybe I should start doing this. And what's something that you should continue? Because there's awesomeness that you're already doing. And so drop that into the chat. And I encourage you to write it down as well. And when I do this in live with people face to face, I don't let them take their stickies because I organize them. I look at the reds, I look at the yellow, because what should I start? It can drive your professional development plan, right? If all the teachers say they want to try this, then that tells you what you might want to teach them. And you can support and go in and support what they want to continue. And it's interesting, you can do the stoplight and then maybe do it at the beginning of a semester and then do it at the end and see what has changed. But I often encourage people to take a picture of their stoplight, because I want you to remember that you were committed to doing this. What were you committed to stopping? What were you committed to starting? Because sometimes life gets in the way and we forget that we wanted to do this. So take a picture of your own stoplight. Stoplight's coming in, Lisa. Are they looking good?
You just need to know how amazing you are, and everyone, their stops are realizing like how much you gave them today, how wonderful they're already doing. So just kudos to you and all that the resources, and, just very, very positive.
Thank you.
And realizing
I'm going to cry, y'all.
I am too. Realizing how much we're all doing for our students right now and working together.
Yeah.
We are in this together. We say it, but we don't believe it.
We are. Like, I'm seriously like tearing up right now. You guys are not allowed to make me cry. So yeah, right? It is all about grace right now. It is all about grace. And if you aren't helping to lift somebody else up, then I'm not sure what we're doing, right? We're all in this together. So we're all in this boat. So don't rock it or we all fall out. And we all have to work together to bring the high tide in, right? So that all boats can rise, right? Okay, I'm done. I'm not preaching. I'm done preaching. Sorry. So anyway, last but not least, seriously, guys, like, oh, okay. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to take my own advice.
Can I drop the reflection?
Yes, I'm going to tell you the last slide. Yes, here comes what you've been waiting for. Lisa's going to drop the link in to get credit, to give me feedback, to get your credit. Of course, local CEU authorizations apply. I have to say that. You're welcome, Adam and Stacy. Anyway, but you also can do the chat, or you can literally just click. Like every time you see a little mash button, watch my cursor. It goes from a pointer to a hand. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Oh, maybe I didn't link it. Oh, click the hand and it'll take you. You don't have to worry about what what session this is. It's already for you, but Lisa's dropping it in the link. So grab it.
It is closed.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Maybe I didn't think that Stacy made 2 different forms. But let me check, okay? Give me 1 second. Give me patience. This is where grace happens, people. Let me do it this way. Yes, you're gonna be all up. I'm buying a house, so I don't care. You just saw that's my house inspection email. I don't care. Stacy. So yeah, you're gonna be all up in my business. All right, here we go. Give me 1 second. That's good though. It means I'll change it for tomorrow. Okay, hold on. So I apologize. I really thought she made 1 form for both sessions. My bad. Hold. We got this. Breathe. Breathing. I got to get rid of those windows. Okay. So this is where I messed up. I made a huge assumption that the link would be the same. My bad. My total bad. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. It's just like won't scroll for some weird reason. Oh, now it's scrolling too much. Okay. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I think maybe other people are realizing this too. Okay, here we go. No, there it is. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Here we go. There it is. Don't worry. So I'm going to stop sharing. This for some reason, I don't know how else to get into the chat. Otherwise, okay. Boom. And of course, to scroll all the way back to everyone is awesome. Boom. I think that should work. Is that working? Doesn't look like that's working. Did that work?
We're all copying right now.
Okay, let me make sure. I'm so sorry, y'all. Oh, and you know what? I'll update this, but I won't do it now, but let me just make sure that link works.
We are in. We're good.
Okay, I am so sorry, y'all. So sorry about that. I can't believe Stacy made 2 links for every session. That's like ridiculous. Like that's insane. I can't even imagine how long that took her. Gosh, love Stacy, loved all. Okay. Anyway, I just assumed because we just used 1 link last time. I apologize, y'all. Anyway, thank you for your patience, but that's it right there, y'all. That's it. Again, I'm gonna go all the way to the front just so you have it in case you need it. Oh, I guess you can't see me anymore, can you? Oops. But remember on the first slide or the second slide is Lisa and I's email or Twitter. You got us, get a hold of us. I can't thank you enough. I know lots of you got to go to another. Hey, Lacey Davis. Is that Diane Gunderson? No, that's not Diane. Hi, Lacey Davis. Sorry. Hi, Lacey. I don't really scroll. I don't have time to scroll. Hi. Oh my God. I'm so happy to see your face. Stay in the chat for a minute if you can. All right, y'all. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being educators in the state of North Carolina. We are in this together. We have to show grace. You are showing up for your kids. You're showing them that when times are hard, people are good. When times are hard, we are showing kids that people are good. Keep it up. You are doing it. Just showing up for your kids is everything. Everything. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You all have a great day. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Love, 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 love. Love. I'm saying in the chat, like I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. So if you have questions now or you want to just talk to me, we can just open it up and we can have a Brady Bunch moment, like point at each other. When we were doing it, we were elbowing it toward each other because, we don't want to, we're just being silly. If you all had Brady Bunch moments where you're pointing at each other. Okay, anyway, Lacey, turn your mic on. I want to hear your voice, please.
Hey!
Hi!
That was so good. I think I just started crying with you.
Oh no, I can't believe I cried. All right, I think I'm gonna stop recording. How about that? We're gonna stop recording now. I'm stop recording now, okay? Thank you all. Thank you all. Have a good week. I'm stopping.